Buying a new Jeep vehicle is easier than ever. Introducing Jeep Click and Drive.
All right, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I'm not coming in too loud, but hopefully everyone's doing well. Happy Wednesday to everyone. We got our nice picture up there. Fingers crossed that it's going to stay up there, but again, it might go. And if it does, don't worry. Again, like I always say, we treat this as a podcast, so we'll just keep on chatting, and I'll keep on giving you those weight loss tips. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming on the Wednesday. Already see thumbs up. I just put this up 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, so you guys are awesome. Nicola, awesome to see you in here. Thank you so much for coming in. And I really like how we can already see people in the chat, so that's great to know that you guys can actually hear me and that the chat and that the stream has started. So Trollbot, thank you. Great to have you in here as well. So I know this was a little bit quick, a lot quicker than I'd usually put up a sort of a reminder, but as this Sunday I was not able to stream. Work got in the way. It was just impossible for me to get on. There was just no way that I could, and I didn't want to do like a 15-minute just sort of glance over everything. I always want to give you guys the most value when I get on here, so it was just impossible for me to do it on Sunday. The same thing's happening today, so I have time right now. I thought we might as well get on and chat. Sponge Betty, good to see you in chat. Thank you so much. And everyone else who's in here, I see the numbers climbing up and up. Thank you so much for joining us. So, we put in the title, I put in the title here, weight loss tips, but summer weight loss tips. But again, this does not have to be just for summer. This is going to be weight loss tips in general. The reason why I put in summer there is because summer gives us 3 solid good months, and to really see good results, usually about that 6-week mark gives us, a nice point in time where we can actually start to see results. But that 3-month period is really when we're going to start to see the results kicking in. So that's why I put summer. That brings us to June, guys. We're already in April. Hard to believe. That's going to bring us towards the end of June. Summer starts, I believe, June 21st. So that gives us time now. If we begin now, then we can get on our weight loss journey, and we can be successful by the time we get to summer. Even by, the middle of July, we still have tons of summer where we can get down to that weight loss and to that body that we want. So I really want to talk about what can we do for weight loss, what are some things that we can do to achieve our goals, again, and we can even talk about some things working out wise. It's kind of an open forum today. I want to talk about a little bit, covering a bunch of different topics, a little of everything if we can. But thank you so much, guys, for those thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And I have to say, I appreciate all of the support. Like I always say, guys, it's a one-man team here. I appreciate all the support, or any support that you guys can give to the channel. I try to come up with those daily videos. Yesterday we got up a nice almond video. I was happy with how that one turned out. I believe the one before that was strawberry juice, and we got kale juice out. So just a bunch of different videos. And again, a one-man team, and that's why it was so hard to get on Sunday. And that's why I wanted to get on for you guys today. Even, it'll probably be about an hour, but an hour is better than, say, like a 15-minute or 10-minute, which Sunday would have been. So let's get right into it, guys. Let's talk a little bit about weight loss. Remember, this is not, even though I have summer in there, remember, I put summer in there because that's going to give us that 3-month period. That 3-month period is when we're really going to start to see the results kicking in. Now, not everyone is going to be exercising, so let's keep that in mind as well. Now, it is recommended, and I will say this, even though I know most people, aren't fans of working out, or they're not part of a gym or anything like that. Don't think of working out as something where you have to go to the gym and lift weights or get on an elliptical or some sort of fancy cardio machine. exercising can be going for a 20 to 30 minute walk. I prefer 30 minutes because then you get some nice afterburn effect, that 30 to 35 minutes. So when I talk about the afterburn effect, if you're going for a 35-minute walk, there's been studies that not only are you burning calories during that walk, but it's going to help boost the metabolism, and then you're going to be burning more calories throughout the day. So it's about that 35-minute mark. If you can get to 30 minutes, beautiful. And it doesn't have to be a high-paced walk either. All right, it can just be your normal walk. Enjoy the day. Just get out, get moving, and then excellent calorie burn after that workout as well. Say, good to hear. Thank you. Good. I'm glad that you're able to come into chat. Good to see you in here. I'm glad, you're able to hear me and everything. It's good to be back. I got to say, it was weird not streaming on Sunday. And we've been in such a habit of getting on here every Wednesday and Sunday. It kind of felt a little bit bad not to get on here. I will say it was very different for me. But, I was out of town. I didn't have any of the equipment with me. So again, it was just totally impossible to get on. But I think you guys get the point. But now we're on and we're talking about it. So, one of the things we always talk about foods, guys. We've talked about macronutrients, micronutrients. I want to kind of touch on the point of exercise. And again, it doesn't have to be super intense exercise. Let's think of exercise as just going for a walk, or there's even things on YouTube with just 20 minutes of movement. Okay, where that's going to help you as well. Remember, the guide is usually about 150 minutes per week. Now, not only will that movement help with weight loss, but it's going to help you in general, just your quality of life with your mobility, balance, stability, strengthening, so many different things. All right, so don't just, again, think about it in terms of weight loss. Think about it in terms of lifestyle. All right, how do you want to be feeling tomorrow, a week from now, a month, 10 years from now? All right, that's what we're really trying to get after when I'm talking about exercise. It's a quality of life thing. We have to have a little bit of movement involved into our day-to-day or week by week. 3 to 4 times a week is more than enough if you're going out for walks, especially if you're just starting on your weight loss journey. I don't expect anyone to go out and, purchase a gym membership and immediately get onto a strength routine, or like I said, get on some of those fancy cardio machines. It's not for everyone, right? And you don't need that for weight loss. So that's my first kind of tidbit that I would throw at you guys. Try to see if you can get that 150 minutes of movement, all right? We don't even have to call it exercise. We can just call it movement, all right? It can be stationary. You can do it right in your own home, in your living room. Turn on a YouTube video. I know there used to be DVDs, but those are kind of outdated now. You guys are on the computer. You can find a YouTube video. All right, and it doesn't have to be super intense. All right, just as long as we're getting that movement. I would try that for our weight loss. That's going to be a big thing. The reason why I like the movement is because, remember, guys, to lose weight, you have to be, all right, and I can't stress this enough, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So you have, say if your maintenance of calories was 2,000 calories, you have to be under 2,000 calories to lose weight. So if you maintain your weight at 2,000 calories, you have to be under 2,000 calories to lose weight. And it's the exact same. If you're over 2,000 calories, you're going to gain weight. So that movement is going to help burn extra calories. Now, let's go on to our next question. Again, sometimes I rant, and when I rant, I kind of stare into the mic. Sometimes I miss some of the comments. So let's get to some of the comments here. So first thing, see if we can add that 150 minutes of movement per week. Again, that's not too much, guys. That's 3 to 4 times a week. About that 40-minute mark. If you can do 4, it's just going to shorten down where you can do 30 to 40 minutes. And it's just movement. It's not high-intensity workouts. All right, keep it moderate, especially if you're starting out. That would be the biggest thing. And consistency is the key, guys. Consistency is the big factor in all of this. It's going to take consistency. That's all it is. So just adding the days in, adding the weeks in, and being consistent throughout. That's why when we talk about diet, and trust me, we're going to get into a big discussion about diet. As Trollbot points out here, I like that name, Trollbot. diet is going to be key. So don't worry. I'm starting out with the exercise portion so we can lead into the diet, all right, because diet is key. That's absolutely correct. But again, that exercise, I just want to point that out, especially at the beginning of this discussion, why exercise is so important. It's going to help you get into that deficit so you can actually lose weight, all right? So any extra calories we can burn through exercise is just going to be, almost like the cherry on top, all right? It's not going to make you as restricted in your diet, all right? You can eat a little bit more, and it's going to help keep you in that deficit. Hey, Matt, good to see you in chat. Awesome to see you guys. Like I said, it's been a week now since we've done our lives, so very nice to see everyone in here. Mac, hope you're doing well. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about those weight loss tips. And for anyone that's coming in, again, it doesn't have to be just for summer. These are going to be weight loss tips for any point in your life. But the reason why I put summer in there is, again, because it gives you that 3-month period. And then that's when you're going to really start to see results. So let's talk a little bit about diet now. We've gone over the exercise. All right, so exercise is going to help get us into the deficit, but also it's going to help with quality of life. All right, we need movement. That's why it's always recommended 150 minutes. They just upped it, actually. I think it was 120. They upped it to 150. If you've never worked out in your life or you never exercised, you can start at 100, at 90. That's fine. Just build it up to 150. All right, don't overdo it, guys. All right, especially if you're starting out. I never have my clients. We never go from, what's the saying, like 0 to 60 or 0 to 100. We always build it up, all right? So if you're doing 0 right now, don't just jump right up onto that 150. That might be a little bit too much for you, all right? Start it out at maybe 60, build it up to 90, and then you can go from there, all right? But I do like that movement, guys, for weight loss. We have to have a little bit of movement in there. Now, as Trollbot says, diet is going to be key. All right, now why is diet key? Sorry, as I take a little sip of coffee. These streams don't really change. I always got my coffee here. I like kind of sitting back with a coffee and chatting with you guys. So it's one of my highlights of the day, I do have to say. So diet is definitely key when it comes to weight loss. Now, what are some things that we can do with diet? All right, and Mac, thanks again for joining. I appreciate having you here. So what can we do for diet? What should we be having for diet? Now, it depends on what type of diet you're on. I know some people are on keto. We've talked about some people do intermittent fasting or Mediterranean, paleo. It doesn't really matter. Again, the first key to weight loss is going to be that you're in a deficit of calories. I'm going to type into the chat a calculator that you guys can search just on Google. All right, so let me type it in here because I can type it in, but it's TDEE calculator. Sometimes, you can miss some of those letters. So it's a TDEE calculator. All right, you just search that into Google. If you search that into Google, all right, it'll pop up. You can find a bunch of them. Usually they're all the same. So what you type into that is sort of your height, your weight, how active you are, what your goal is. I would set a goal of probably no more than 2 pounds lost per week. Anything more than that, you're probably going to have a yo-yo effect or a rebound effect is what we call it. So if you're losing like 3, 4, 5 pounds a week, you're very restricted. To lose 1 pound, guys, you have to be in a deficit of 3,500 calories. So just imagine if you're losing 5 pounds, all right, times that by 5. Just think of how little you'll have to eat or how much exercise you'll have to do or both. It'll just be too restricted. So that's why you get the yo-yo effect or the rebound effect. If you're losing that 5 pounds, you're probably eating too little of calories and you're probably working out, you're overtraining. All right, so that's why I like that 1.5 to 2 pounds. And again, think about it, guys. We have 3 months. If I'm using my summer as that sort of point where we want to try to get to that weight loss, that gives us 3 months. If we're losing 2 pounds every single week for 3 months, you're going to lose 25 pounds in that 3 months. How amazing is that? Just by losing 2 pounds every week. Okay, because that's going to be roughly just over 8 pounds a month. You times it by 3, that's 24. All right, if that's 8, all right, and it's probably going to be a little bit over 8 because we do have some carryover into like the 29th, 30th, sometimes 31st of the month. So don't go too restrictive. I wouldn't go over that 2 pound mark. All right, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And then if you're losing 2 pounds a week, guys, way better chance of not having that rebound effect. The rebound effect, I cannot tell you with how many clients that I've worked with where they yo-yo, all right, so they lose weight and then it bounces back up, all right? And the sad and unfortunate thing is that when it does go back up, usually they end up putting on more weight than what they started at. So say they started at 200 pounds, they went down to like a 160 and they did it very fast. They did it in like 2 months, all right? So they were losing 20 pounds in a month, maybe 3 months, all right? They're so restricted that it just bounces back up. They end up gaining more than what they started. They're over 200 pounds. So keep it around that one. I know it sounds tough, all right, or it sounds like very little weight loss, but when you add it up, 2 pounds a week for 3 months, you're going to be about 25 pounds, all right? And not everyone even has that much to lose. So keep it simple, guys. Keep it around that 2 pound mark. So take a look at that TDEE calculator. Oh, my pleasure, Sponge Betty, my pleasure. This is one of the things that I really like to talk about with weight loss and everything like that. Sort of breaking down the myths, all right? There's a lot of myths and a lot of, simple things. What's the correct word that I'm talking? The easy fix type things, all right? Things that, drink this, eat that, all right, and you'll lose belly fat right off the bat. All right, it's not always going to be like that. We have to make sure that we're calculating how many calories we should be having. We need to know these things because you need your starting point. You're definitely not, and we've talked about this a bunch on different streams. Drinking lemon water, drinking green tea is not going to be the be-all, end-all. Trust me. I would have made my own green tea by now or my own lemon water, and it would have been monetized, and I would have been maybe making some money off that. Or trust me, someone else would have done it way before me. All right, but there's studies that show that by drinking lemon water or green tea that people did lose belly fat, but it doesn't look at anything else that they did. All right, people will make the claim, but you have to look at the whole study. All right, they were probably in a calorie deficit. There's no other way, guys, for you to lose weight than be in a calorie deficit. All right, so that's the biggest thing. Now, the other thing, so first of all, don't be too restrictive. Keep it in a 1 to 2 pound a week. I know some people don't like hearing that. They think it's way too slow. But again, if you do it over 3 months, again, how amazing is it to lose 25 pounds? All right, 25 pounds is an incredible amount of weight in just 3 months. All right, I think that's more than enough. For some of my clients, I think that might even be too fast. All right, especially if they're a lower weight and they're trying to lose some body fat, trying to tone up a little bit. Even 25 pounds is too much for them. I'll recommend a 1 pound weight loss for them a week, and they might think that's too slow. But again, 25 pounds is 25 pounds. We'll take it as we get it. All right. But we don't want to, and again, we don't want to be losing muscle. We want to be losing body fat. So again, try to keep it in that 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's my recommendation for you guys. Don't be too restrictive. The biggest thing to stop people from working out or from their weight loss journey is that they restrict themselves too much. They get onto a diet that they just cannot maintain. And the best diet for you guys to lose weight or even lose weight for the summer, because remember, that gives you 3 months, is going to be having you on a diet that you can maintain. That's the biggest thing. All right, if you're on a diet where you are dieting and you're just too restrictive, you're going to stop. There's just no way that you're going to be able to maintain losing 15, 20 pounds every single month. Impossible. I just don't know anyone that can do that and then keep it off, because eventually you're going to have to add those calories back in. You won't be able to sustain it, and eventually you're just going to get off that diet, start cheating, all right? Or if you're overtraining, you're not going to be able to maintain the training. Oh, my pleasure, Brenda. My pleasure. And if you guys have any questions too, by all means, if it has anything to do with food, right now we're just kind of talking about weight loss in general. I think this is an important topic. Staying within that 1 to 2 pounds a week. That way you're not too restrictive. I hate when people are eating foods or trying not to cheat or not enjoying their diet. All right, if you're not enjoying your diet, then you're not going to maintain the diet. It's as simple as that. And it's the same thing with training. If you're not enjoying, say you are training or you are exercising, if you're not enjoying the training and it becomes almost like a second job for you, then you're not going to maintain that exercise. It's just something that our body's not going to enjoy, and you're probably going to feel worse. You're in a deficit of calories and you're burning calories throughout your workout. So don't restrict yourself, guys. Don't restrict yourself. Don't be scared of food. Make sure you're eating well-balanced meals. So that brings us to our next topic, all right? So our next weight loss tip. Again, as I take another sip of coffee. Okay, so we already know exercise is going to be a big one. And remember, don't think of exercise as going in there and super intense, joining a gym. All we need is walks. All right, if you're going for, 150 minutes of walks a week, then you're doing great. All right, remind yourself, especially if you're starting at a lower point, like say 60 minutes right now, you are doing awesome. Okay, so give yourself credit for that. The other important thing is you want to be in a deficit of calories. So that's why I put that TDEE calculator. All right. Sometimes it's hard to pronounce to say, but I put it into chat there so you guys can calculate how many calories you should be eating to maintain your weight. And again, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and it gives you a good starting point. It may not be exactly perfect, but at least you have that starting point. So the next one, guys, is we need well-balanced meals. Okay, well-balanced meals is the best way. All right, you're not going to be restrictive. You're going to be able to add a bunch of different foods into your diet, good foods that you enjoy. Again, you have to enjoy the diet. It has to be a lifestyle change. If it's not a lifestyle change, guys, and I'm not trying to come off preachy here. It's just things that I've, from working with hundreds of clients right now, or I've throughout my career, and a bunch of clients right now. If you're not enjoying the diet, you're not going to maintain it. It's just that simple. All right. So having a well-balanced diet is going to give you the most success. I mean, if you're on keto, a lot of people are jumping on the keto fad right now. If you're restricting yourself so much, say you like apples, all right? So very sweet, lots of fiber, lots of nutrients. There's nothing wrong with an apple. It's one of the main fruits that I actually prefer my clients eating because it's fibrous. It has a bunch of different micronutrients, and it's low in calories. But if you're on keto, you can't eat an apple. Why? Because it has carbohydrates. It's going to take you out of ketosis. If you enjoy a banana, again, can't have the banana. Same thing with any other carbohydrate. It doesn't matter if it's a complex or a simple carbohydrate. So throw away oatmeal, throw away sweet potatoes, throw away brown rice, all those healthy foods that we enjoy and keep us satiated. So that's not to say that keto is bad. Some people can do really well on keto. All right, so it just depends. Do the one that works for you. All right, I like well-balanced meals, but again, not everyone's the same. My experience is different from some other people, and that's fine. Just make sure you're on the diet that works for you. All right, so well-balanced meals. What does a well-balanced meal looks like? Well, for a well-balanced meal, think of your macronutrients, guys. You're going to have protein, you're going to have carbohydrates, and we want those to be complex carbohydrates. Again, what's a complex carbohydrate? It's the difference between a simple, all right? So complex versus simple carbohydrates. A complex carbohydrate is going to be a slower digesting carbohydrate, all right? And those are the ones we want to stick to. You're going to have some simple carbohydrates in your diet, and that's fine. But we want the bulk of the carbohydrates coming from complex carbohydrates. So let's think of what some good complex carbohydrates are. One of my favorite, and you can make a ton of recipes. You can throw it into smoothies. It's very versatile, and you're very welcome, Trollbot. Again, my pleasure. Is oatmeal, okay? So the good old-fashioned oatmeal. I know as kids we grew up and oatmeal was always recommended, but it is one of the healthiest, most micronutrient dense, great fiber, very heart healthy, anti-inflammation, good for digestion. All around a great complex carbohydrate. So I love oatmeal. And the thing with oatmeal, you can really a lot of people think it's just for breakfast. You can have it at any point of the day. That's the other thing I want to get across to you guys. All right, you don't just have to split your diet up into, well, this is a morning food, this is an afternoon, I have to eat this. You can eat oatmeal throughout the day. Sometimes I'll eat oatmeal at 5 or 6 p.m. just because it satiates me. I'll have the oatmeal, I'll throw some blueberries in, I'll throw a little flaxseed. That's a ton of fiber right there. I think in total, I'm getting close to about 15 grams of fiber just right there. All right, and fiber is very important for weight loss as well. Why? Because it's going to keep you full. All right, and it's going to keep that digestive system healthy, good bacteria in the gut. All right, getting rid of that bad bacteria and inflammation. So keep that fiber high. But the reason why I like oatmeal, again, complex carbohydrate, slow digesting, it's going to keep you satiated. Like I said, I think I mentioned this in another stream. It's like one of those carbohydrates that's going to give you a slow drip of energy as opposed to a simple. All right, a simple carbohydrate. So the one example that I'll give as a simple carbohydrate, because some of my clients will do this, and I'm glad that they admit it. I get them to journal their food. But they'll go for like a donut, or they'll add sugar, a bunch of sugar to their coffee. They'll have like a sweet right first thing in the morning. If you're doing that, you are going to burn through that. It doesn't matter if it's a donut, if it's sugar, if it's a cookie in the morning. Remember, that's what a lot of people are eating. All right, a lot of people will bring that into work, and then, they'll spread it throughout their other employees and everything like that. If you're having those types of things in the morning, one, big blood sugar spike, insulin spike, that's going to be just burned right off the bat. All right, you're going to be hungry probably an hour, 2 hours later. All right, a lot of my clients, all right, will say, I always feel hungry. I feel like I ate breakfast and then I'm hungry an hour or two later. I'll look at their food journal, and then they'll have coffee with sugar in it and then a cookie with it. And again, I'm never judgmental. It's always just a learning process. So if you're doing that right now, don't be judgmental on yourself. All right, it's just always something to learn from. So what I like to kind of show them is, well, you're going to feel a little bit more hungry because, we have cortisol, that stress hormone, which is super high. The coffee is going to increase that. And then having that sweet is even going to increase that. The more cortisol we have in our body, all right, the more hungry we're going to feel. Remember, that's the anxiety hormone, all right, stress hormone. All right, the more we have that in the body, the harder it's going to be to lose weight, the harder it's going to be to lose body fat, and the hungrier we're going to feel. So you're going to want to start yourself off. Maybe that oatmeal is a good choice for you. Coffee, oatmeal, slow digesting. I like adding the flaxseed and the blueberries. Another nice one is apples and cinnamon. All right, tons of benefits in that. So I would try to keep it as best you can. I know it's not going to be perfect, and I don't expect you to be perfect. I am not perfect, but try to limit as much simple carbohydrates as you can. Try to keep them complex. So what's another complex carbohydrate that we can have? All right, another one is brown rice. Brown rice is a great complex carbohydrate, slow digesting, tons of nutrients. And that's the other things, guys. The complex carbohydrates that I'm going to give you are going to be very high in micronutrients. So think of vitamins, minerals, fiber, all that good stuff, antioxidants, all right, all that stuff that we want in our diet, and all the stuff that's going to help us to lose weight. So another one is brown rice. And brown rice you can eat at lunchtime. You can add it to stir fries. You can add it to basically anything. All right, chicken meals. I know a lot of people will add it to, like I said, even soups. All right, again, just to get those carbohydrates in there. All right, and it's a complex one. So you don't need to overdo it because there's going to be some good fiber and nutrients in there. So you don't have to eat tons of brown rice. All right, half a cup to a cup is going to be quite filling because there's good fiber in brown rice as well. All right. The other thing is, if you're eating those simple carbohydrates, very, very devoid of any nutrients. So think about it. If we're eating a donut, how many micronutrients are we really getting? Probably next to zero. All right, and how much fiber are we getting? Again, probably next to zero. So keep it complex, guys. Now let's think of one more complex carbohydrate. We have oatmeal. We have brown rice. Let's think of sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is always a nice one. We've talked about sweet potatoes in the past. You guys know that I like them baked. And again, with rice too, with brown rice, it doesn't have to just be brown rice. I don't want you guys thinking that you can only eat brown rice or, only oatmeal. There's tons of different rice variations. All right. So I would play around with that and enjoy the meals that you're eating. Enjoy the carbohydrates that you're eating. Off the top of my head, wild rice, black rice, Jasmine rice is fine. All right, all those different ones. So if you're eating those and adding them to the diet, again, that's going to help with weight loss. Slow digesting, keep you full, keep you satiated, and it's going to limit your snacking throughout the day. So again, that's only going to help keep you in a calorie deficit. So sweet potatoes is another great one. Tons of dietary fiber, very, very micronutrient dense. It doesn't get more micronutrient dense almost than sweet potatoes, even brown rice. All right, so sweet potatoes are nice. And even if you're having other potatoes too, like a lot of people are scared of white potatoes, if you're eating them in moderation, they can be quite healthy for you as well. I would pick the sweet potato over the white potato just because it's going to have a little bit more micronutrients in it and things like that. And a little bit more fiber, especially with the skins on. But there's nothing wrong if you're eating white potatoes in moderation as well. Now, another complex carbohydrate, which we have to have, and let's not even call this a complex carbohydrate, but something that we really need to add into our diet, guys, and if we want to lose weight, are vegetables, all right, and raw as often as possible. Raw, organic, as many as you want. That's the great thing about vegetables, all right? Leafy green vegetables, cauliflower, green beans, doesn't matter. Zucchini, bell peppers, all of that stuff is very high in fiber and very micronutrient dense. And you're hearing me say micronutrient dense because you're going to be in a deficit of calories. So you're eating less food, so you want to make sure that you're getting those micronutrients in. All right, so it's very, very important. Almost at the top of the list, guys. We've talked about complex carbohydrates. We've talked about being in a deficit. The next one, probably more, the only one that I would say is maybe more important than the vegetables. All right. And I would say you want to get at least somewhere in between 3 to 5, maybe even 6 servings of vegetables. I know it sounds like a lot. If you're not eating any vegetables right now, all right, you don't automatically have to just jump right up into 5 servings of vegetables. Try for the 2, then go for 3, maybe a week or 2 later, and then add a 4th and a 5th. All right. So keep it slow. Again, vegetables are very filling. They're micronutrient dense, especially if we're eating them raw. If we can't eat them raw, enjoy them steamed. All right, so kind of lightly steamed, or throw them into your stir fry. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people think that with cooking things like spinach or kale or broccoli, you're going to be losing a bunch of nutrients. But there's also studies out there that show that when we do cook these types of foods, it actually increases the micronutrients that are in it. It actually gets healthier when we cook spinach. So it's very interesting studies. So if we want to lose weight, one of the important things, guys, is to make sure that we're getting those vegetables, all right? 3 to 6 is often what's recommended. Again, if you're starting from maybe like 1 or 0 even, again, don't be judgmental on yourself, all right? We just add maybe 1 serving per week, all right? So for 1 week, you're doing 1. The next week, you're going to try to bump it up to 2. After that, all right, maybe you can wait 2 weeks, all right, try to get it to 3. Boom, you're hitting your vegetables, all right? And this is daily, guys, not weekly, but just we're adding them weekly, all right? So if you're at 3, you're hitting, all right, that sweet spot. And then maybe you might want to add a 4th in there as well, all right? Because we are generally recommending 3 to 6. And again, that's just going to help keep you full and make sure you're getting those micronutrients as you're in a deficit. All right, now we're talking about vegetables. Let's talk a little bit about fruits. This is one thing that I get all the time. You know, how much fruit should we be eating? All right, can I eat? A lot of people enjoy fruit. I'm one person that enjoys fruit a lot during the summer. So we're entering the summer season. All right, there's a lot of fruits. And I'm seeing it at the grocery store now. There's a lot of fruits that are going to be in season, like your strawberries. All right, so I've seen tons of strawberries. I've actually gotten a ton of organic strawberries over the last week. You're going to start to get watermelon soon, more pineapple, at least where I am. And I think it's the same in most areas. So pineapples, things like that, watermelon, cantaloupe, tons of fruits. All right, so how much fruit should we be eating per day? All right, now it's going to be maybe we might not like to hear this, but it's going to be less than vegetables. Vegetables are going to be your main priority. All right. So I know vegetables and fruits are always sort of lumped together, but green leafy vegetables and just any other vegetables in general are going to be your main source, all right, of that fruits and vegetable combination. So how many fruits? Let's get right into it. All right. So the fruit, 1 to 2 servings per day. All right, in the summer, you can go a little bit higher. There's nothing wrong with eating like 3. And let's say you're eating blueberries, raspberries, things like that. Again, very low in calories. Watermelon, you're going to enjoy a little bit more. All right, so if you're having like 3, that's fine. All right, just make sure you're staying in that deficit. All right, and keep it fibrous as often as we can. So you have your apples, you have your pears, raspberries, blackberries. Any berries are going to be good, guys. Any berries are going to be good for weight loss. Why? Nutrient dense, low in calories, high in antioxidants. I think it's one of the best weight loss foods that you can have when it comes to fruit. Okay, so with the other fruits, if you are having, say, like pineapple, I'm one person, I'm not against pineapple, but I'm a type of person where if pineapple's offered to me, I have to turn it down. And the reason why is it's just too sugary for me. I just can't handle the amount of sugar that's in pineapple. It's the same thing with papayas. It's the same thing with mangoes. All right, remember, it's going to be a little bit higher in fructose, glucose maybe even getting raised through those types of fruits. But you can enjoy them in moderation. I'm not saying you can't enjoy those types of fruits, but I would stick to the fibrous one. Berries, apples, pears, even oranges are good. So 1 to 2 servings of fruit would be great. In the summer, I know it's that season. We can bump it up to 3. Again, I don't want you guys being restricted. Enjoy those healthy fruits. All right. With grapes, I would be a little bit careful. Eat those in moderation. I know grapes are going to be in season as well. That's one question I get all the time. You know, can I be eating grapes? It has resveratrol in it. It's tons of antioxidants. Yes, you can eat grapes, but I would try to keep it in moderation, guys, just because they are high in sugar. Almost so much that I would almost consider them a simple carbohydrate. You're going to burn right through them. Again, I cannot eat grapes. Isn't that funny? I enjoy grapes. I wish I could have them. If I do eat them, I only have 10 at a time, but I usually pass on them. But if you guys enjoy grapes, try to have something like 10 to 12, maybe 15 at most, because you're just going to be racking up calories. You're just going to be spiking your blood sugar level a little bit. And we don't want that. We want those calories. Cantaloupe's good. Watermelon's good. Again, those pears, apples, berries, all that different stuff. You already have so many choices. So if you want to enjoy grapes, try to keep those in moderation. Okay, guys? Awesome. So we have our fruits and vegetables. That's going to be one of your most important things. Vegetables especially. Vegetables are way higher on the list than fruit is. All right? Fruit is almost... I'd say way higher. Let's think of another thing. Water. We have to be hydrated. If we're dehydrated, guys, this is probably the most important one, to be honest. Maybe even more important than vegetables, certainly more important than carbohydrates. I know I'm going a little bit fast just because I don't want to be rushing, but I am a little bit short on time. That's why I did it a little bit earlier with our stream. So again, slow me down, guys. Ask your questions if you want to. But let's get into our water. We'll go through this quick. We have to be hydrated, guys. Now, what's usually recommended is 3 to 6 liters of water. Do I expect you guys to drink 6 liters of water? Absolutely not, especially if you're not working out. Think about what 6 liters of water looks like. If you have those 500 milliliter bottles of water, that's 12. That's 12 water bottles. So unless you're doing some high intensity exercise, I don't recommend to my clients jumping right into 6. Myself, I drink 6. Okay, so I'll have a gallon and a little bit more per day, but I definitely do not expect my clients, and I definitely would not expect you guys to jump right into 6 liters of water. All right, some people, you need it. All right, especially like I said, if you're doing high intensity workouts, things like that. We don't want to be dehydrated. If you're chronically dehydrated, not only are you going to be having less energy, so it's going to hurt your workouts if you are working out, but you're going to be feeling more hungry. There's tons of studies, guys, that show we mistake hunger for dehydration. Okay, so if you're feeling dehydrated, you're going to automatically probably be feeling hungry as well. All right, and a lot of the times we confuse the two. So if you're dehydrated, you're going to be going for food. You're going to be snacking throughout the day. And why is that bad? Because it's going to get you out of your calorie deficit. And a lot of the times too, if we're dehydrated, we get that feeling where it's almost like we have a blood sugar drop. So it's not going to be apples that we're reaching for. It's probably going to be something fast, like a fast food or like a donut or something like that to try to make us feel better. And then guess what? When we add that in, we're only going to be more hungry because it's only going to dehydrate you more. So one of the big things is, guys, make sure you're drinking enough water. I think 3 liters is a good way to start. Okay, 3 liters is a good way to start. That's 6 water bottles. That's going to put you in that 6 to 8 glasses of water, maybe like 9. It depends on the size of the glass. I don't know how big the glasses you guys are using, but I think anywhere from like 6, maybe even to 10 glasses of water per day. Again, that's going to seem high. A lot of my clients, when I do my client consultations, are only drinking 1 to 2 glasses of water per day. When I'm training, all right, I'm always getting them to constantly and always hammering onto them that they have to drink water before the workouts. They have to drink it during and they have to drink after. If not, they're going to be dehydrated. It's just that simple. They're sweating like crazy. All right. They might be a little bit low in water throughout the day, so they have to make sure that they get that in. All right. So water's another important one, guys. Now let's keep hammering it home. We're on a roll here, guys. So I hope you guys are getting a lot out of this. Again, I know I might be going a little bit fast, but I want to end on 2 very, very important things. Protein, guys. Protein needs to be in your diet if you want to lose weight. All right, especially if you want to like tone and lose body fat, we have to have protein in the diet. There's just no other way. And the other good thing about protein is it's going to keep you full. Protein is going to keep you satiated, all right? It's one of those foods that's going to help keep you full, satiated, all right? Help keep you in that deficit and help you from snacking throughout the day, all right? So that's why we need protein in the diet. A lot of people neglect protein, all right? And that's common. So again, don't be judgmental on yourself. Okay, if we're a little low in protein, again, it doesn't have to be animal protein. It can be plant protein. So again, your beans are a great complex carbohydrate as well. We didn't even get onto that for complex carbs, but beans are a great choice. Lentils, legumes, things like that. All right, I think that's excellent. Now, a lot of people will include nuts and seeds into plant protein. I don't buy it, okay? And I might be a little bit biased, but I would not call something a protein source when it has more fat, and maybe even, say if you're taking something like cashews, how can you call it a protein source when it has more fat and more carbohydrates than protein? So I would stick, if you're having plant protein, all right, to your beans, your lentils, things like that. Maybe like a vegan protein powder, all right, or a vegetarian or something like that. I believe there's even almost like Mediterranean fish proteins out there. But I would not call nuts and seeds a protein. That's your healthy fats. Again, if it has more fat, let's say like a tablespoon of peanut butter, of natural peanut butter. It has 7 grams of fat, guys, and it has 4 grams of protein. Okay? If you're trying to get 20 grams of protein, you're getting 20 grams of protein from that peanut butter, but 35 grams of fat. That's not the ratio we want. Okay? So make sure you're getting that plant protein. And if you eat animal protein, I would go 1 to 2 servings of plant protein and 1 to 2 servings of animal protein. Remember, we want our meal frequency a little bit higher. 3-4 meals a day, 5, all right, good, well-balanced meals. If we're getting that, we're doing a good job. So keep that in mind as well, guys. It doesn't have to be, animal protein, eggs, lean ground beef, turkey, chicken, things like that. All right, you can get plant protein. You're going to do a good job with that. Now, last one, healthy fats, guys. Healthy fats. So again, that one's easy. Just make sure we're keeping in moderation. Remember, for fats, each gram of fat that you have is going to be 9 calories, as opposed to your protein and carbohydrates, which are 4. So the more fats you're eating, the more calories that's going to be increased. All right, so we always want to keep that in mind, guys. But again, things that are high in omega-3, omega-6, so you can have your salmon, you can take a supplement. Walnuts are a great plant source for omega-3s, even a little bit of omega-6 in there as well. But almonds, here's my favorite healthy fats. Almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, peanut butter is good. Keep that in moderation. Brazil nuts, definitely keep in moderation, guys. You guys don't need any more than 3, especially if you're having them per day. All right, there's just a ton of nutrients, especially selenium. All right, so that's a good one. Keep it in moderation. Flax seeds are great. Tons of different options. Hemp hearts, all right, but eggs are a good one. So you got your protein and your healthy fats in that. Plus, all the nutrients are in the yolk. So how amazing is that? All right, you're getting your protein and your healthy fats from that. Okay, guys? So, unfortunately, I have to stop there. All right, at 11:30, that's our time to stop. I apologize. I wish we could get into this more. This is one that I could rant about for another 45 minutes. I see that we've been streaming for 45 minutes. I threw a lot out there, guys. I hope you were able to take, some good stuff away from this. Again, if you have any questions on the next stream, which will be Sunday, make sure that you come in. Make sure that you ask your questions. I appreciate all of you coming in. All these numbers that we've seen today, 18 thumbs up. I appreciate it so much, guys, and I appreciate all of you and being part of this amazing community. So thank you so much. I know you guys were listening because there wasn't a ton of questions in chat. So hopefully, like I said, you guys did get some good information today. So remember, let's sum it up just a little bit. All right, add a little bit of exercise. All right, build it up to 150 minutes per week if you can. All right, stay in a calorie deficit. We have to be in a deficit. If you're not in a deficit, you're not going to lose weight. All right, the next thing is make sure that you're drinking enough water. Start with 3 liters. All right, that's the recommended. All right, doesn't have to be any more than that. All right, to start. You can build it up after that. I wouldn't go to 6. 6 is pretty high. Unless you're doing like a lot of training, you don't need to go to 6. The other thing is veggies, guys. 3 to 6. I would caution, or not caution, but I would recommend going for the higher, so like 5 to 6. It's going to keep you full. It's going to give you your micronutrients. From there, plant proteins, healthy fats, all right, animal proteins. And lastly, let's end it on try to keep the cheats, so highly processed foods, to a minimum. Does that mean you can't ever eat them? No, absolutely not. But 1 to 2 times a week if we can. All right, guys? So thank you so much. I know we were a little bit rushed today. I can't believe all the thumbs up we got in such little time. Brenda, my pleasure. Sunshine Girl, my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Our next one's going to be Sunday. Again, if you have some questions about weight loss or anything like that, we'll bring it up in those streams as well. I'll be able to go a little bit longer on Sunday. So thank you so much, guys. I'm glad I was able to get this in. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Unfortunately, I'll have to end here, but I hope you guys got some good information. And again, daily videos are coming back as always, so keep a lookout for those videos. And again, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, guys. And I will talk to you live on Sunday. And again, you'll see those videos each and every day. So thank you so much, guys. I will talk to you soon.